Well, it's election season in America and the chaos has begun. They said there was going to be voter fraud. They said there was going to be intimidation, but they didn't say it was going to be all from the MAGA side. Check out this poor voter who went to a North Carolina polling station and was intimidated by 4 MAGA meatheads.
So as I'm walking away to go stand in line, these men, 4 men, start harassing me, telling me I need Jesus, telling me that I won't have the right to vote in this country unless I start bearing children. And then they start telling me the worst of all, I hope you bear your child, whether it's at your will or not. They start, literally yelling this at me as I'm standing in line.
Did you hear that madness? It's crazy. They want her to bear children whether it's at her will or not. That's nuts. And then they said that she needs Jesus. When did Jesus become such an a-hole? I thought Jesus was supposed to be nice. These people are just horrible, horrible people. And she doesn't need Jesus. They need therapy. But thank God she stuck to her guns and she didn't get intimidated, and you shouldn't either. Watch what she did.
So they're going through, they asked for my ID. They wanted to see if I had my voter registration card with me, which I did. I was pulling them all out, and they said, okay. And they were looking at them, and they were like, great. So here is your sample ballot. And all of a sudden, I looked at the one man's hat, and it had a Trump sign on his hat. And I'm looking at the other men's, and there's no sign of Trumping anywhere other than this guy's hat. And then he says, here's your sample ballot. Just make sure that you vote for everything that's circled on this ballot. And I'm looking at the ballot, and every single one was the Republican candidate, including Donald Trump for president. And then at the top, it said conservative sample ballot. And then it hit me. This is not where I was supposed to be. So what did I do? I immediately, took his little piece of paper, shredded it in front of their face, laughed in their face, and then said, actually, I'm not a conservative. I don't need this. Thank you. I'm a woman. I know who I'm voting for.
The idiot had a Trump hat on. What an idiot. You don't wear a Trump hat when you're trying to trick people to vote for Trump. That's how stupid these people are. And I want you to pay attention. This voter right here we saw is a smart person. And even she, for a second, got misled. Why? Because they're approaching people at polling stations and pretending like they work there. So she caught it. But some people might not. And that's the problem. These guys keep saying there's going to be voter fraud and cheating, and they're the ones doing it. Why? Because they represent the biggest cheater of them all.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said... They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
You hear that, women? Whether you like it or not, he's going to protect you. First of all, what's with the orange vest? This guy's a total clown. He's out there trying to say, I'm a worker. I wear the orange vest. I'm with you guys. Yeah. I mean, what a bozo. And then he's saying he wants to protect women, but then he's got his goons at these polling stations intimidating women. And how are you protecting women when you took away their right to choose? How's that protection? And this guy is just, he gets worse and worse. Here he is lying about voter fraud.
If you have a mail-in ballot, get that damn ballot in, please, immediately, because they've already started cheating in Lancaster. They've cheated. We caught him with 2,600 votes. No, we caught him cold. 2,600 votes. Think of this. Think of this. And every vote was written by the same person. I wonder how that happened. It must be a coincidence. It must be a coincidence.
I don't even have to tell you, but that's just a total false claim. That's not real. They're claiming that there was cheating in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That is not what happened. You can Google it to find out what happened. There was some lady acting erratic, but there was no cheating of 2,600 votes in Pennsylvania. They're setting us up to say that if they lose, they won. That's what's coming. And also, by the way, in Pennsylvania, they're starting to feel a little worried about their chances of winning that very important state.
What they're doing right now is super puzzling. Doesn't portray any confidence, by the way. Not so ever. There are still undecided voters out there, and they don't like this stuff. And it's also, I think, not a great signal to send to your supporters that you think you've got it in the bag or it's stolen. We saw what happened in the Georgia Senate runoffs really hurt Republican turnout. So this is going to be super close. We're just sticking to our knitting here and trying to turn out every voter we can. But he's not closing a presidential race particularly well.
That was David Plouffe from the Harris campaign saying that the Trump strategy right now is to say we've got it in the bag or it was stolen, which is going to backfire for them because if we got it in the bag, then people don't go vote. That's what happened in Georgia where people didn't go out to vote because they thought that it was already a done deal, and then the two senators went Democrat. Or they cheated and they stole it from us is the playbook he had in 2020. And here we are again. They're setting it all up. After 4 years, they're still doing the big lie, and they're preparing for it. And Americans' memory is short, very short term. There was an insurrection at the Capitol, whatever that was, a couple thousand people almost overthrew the government, and it was in the back door. If you watched any of the January 6th hearings, you saw that behind the scenes, there was all of these shenanigans going on, legal shenanigans with Trump and his team and all these people that were ready to implement this whole plan and steal the election, steal your vote. I mean, if nothing else, you should be pissed off that they're trying to steal your vote, no matter who you vote for. If you like and appreciate democracy, you should be pissed off that they're trying to cheat. And then they turn it around by saying that the other side's cheating. Hey, if I lose, you cheated. If I win, it was fair and square. It's so bold-faced and so, I don't understand how people don't see this. And we have enough crazy people, like those people that told our voter, the lady at the beginning, that she needs Jesus in her life and all that crazy mumbo jumbo. There's enough crazy people out there that are going to show up at these polling stations because in their minds they're thinking if Kamala Harris wins, this country's going to go communist and we're going to be a third world country, which is just ridiculous. This is a capitalistic society. The stock market right now is at the highest it's ever been. Wages are higher than they've ever been. Inflation is up, but it's gone down. So we are a capitalistic society, and there's no communism coming, and Kamala Harris is not a communist. She's even reached out to Republicans. She's got Republicans endorsing her. Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney endorsed her. That is not a communist, all right? But they've bought into this, and they're so crazy. They're going to show up at the polls. They're going to try and intimidate you. I want you to stand your ground. I want you to make sure when you go to vote, if you go to vote in person, make sure that you know where you're going. Ask the people that are working there, that are poll workers, if you have any questions. Make sure your vote is counted. Because what MAGA and Donald Trump wants is to not count your vote. They want to suppress your vote. Because your vote doesn't count because you're a person of color, or you're a woman, or you're a member of the LGBTQ community, or you're someone who is a Democrat, is a white male Democrat who they don't feel knows better than they do. Because what they want to do is they want to win, and then they want to implement Project 2025, which he's tried to distance himself from. We don't hear as much about that because enough of his followers were like, nah, that's not a thing. If you're in the middle and you really consider you're undecided still, please read Project 2025. It is a thing. They want to take away more rights. They want to give more power to the presidency. He said he wants to go after the enemy within. He wants to go after other Americans. Whether you agree or disagree with them doesn't matter. You don't take Americans and throw them in prison. That's what they do in dictatorships. And so this is what they're doing as dictators. The guy is a dictator at heart. His followers, the hardcore ones, are definitely believing him, and they've drank the Kool-Aid. And the only hope we have are those people in the middle who can't quite make up their minds. What's going to happen? Is it better or worse? And they're weighing it. Let me tell you, the economy is going to be better under Kamala Harris than Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants to have tariffs that he's going to impose that will eventually be passed on to you, and it's going to cause more inflation. He wants to deport 10, 20, he doesn't even know how many millions of people he wants to deport. Do you know what that's going to do to your economy? These are the people who pick the fruits. These are the people who do the manual labor that a lot of citizens aren't doing. You know what that's going to do to your economy? It's going to tank your economy. He wants to take away more rights from women. The Republicans, they're crazy. They want to codify this anti-abortion law and make it national. I mean, there's a lot of things they want to do. They want to strengthen the executive branch so that he can do whatever he wants and get his DOJ to go after Nancy Pelosi. Now, you might not like Nancy Pelosi, but you don't want someone random to just, the DOJ to start going after Pelosi, because then after that, they go after the next. Pretty soon, it's the late night talk show hosts because he didn't like the jokes about him. This guy is just bad news. His own general said it. His own vice president that kissed his butt for 4 years said it. And now they're in the midst of trying to intimidate people at the polls, and at the midst of trying to confuse people at the polls. And don't be confused. Don't be intimidated. Know your voter plan as you go in. Know what you're going to do. Know your game plan. Have your form already ready to go. I usually take a pen and I mark it all up, and I know which ones I'm doing, and I sit it right next to me, and then I put the ballot next to me, and I fill it out, and I make sure I fill it out right. Usually, when you put it in the machine, it gives you a receipt that you should look at the printout to see if everyone you wanted to vote for was voted for. And if it wasn't, if for some reason there's a mistake, go back and tell them. They're not flipping votes, by the way. That's the other thing they're saying. They're saying that, oh, these machines are flipping votes. Really? Like the cuckoo lady? Remember the cuckoo lady that in 2020 was saying that there was Venezuelan Dominion machines were flipping votes? And then she ended up having to go apologize. Everyone that was part of the big lie has either been disbarred or had to apologize or been reprimanded. And a lot of them have come around to realize and say that, no, we were just making stuff up. The only one that really is still hardcore is the pillow guy, who I honestly I think the pillow guy is the only guy who actually believes that the election was stolen in 2020. Donald Trump doesn't believe it was stolen. That's his ego. He even said it on the Joe Rogan podcast. He goes, we lost, and then he goes, I mean, we didn't lose. He knows he lost. But his ego, he's more of a manipulative dude. The pillow guy is just nuts. And he actually believes that the election was stolen. So I don't mind. Listen, if Kamala wins and the pillow guy is screaming that the 2024 election was stolen, fine. I don't care. What I'm afraid of is the way they're setting this up as if there's already fraud is going to set it up so that a lot of his followers are going to get caught up in that same situation that they got caught up in on January 6th. And they're going to either end up in prison or they're going to end up in a shootout with the military. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, we're all very worried. So what you need to do is control what you can do. Go to vote. Either vote early, put it in the box. They're burning boxes. Did you see this? They're lighting some of these ballot boxes on fire. I mean, how desperate are these people to cheat? And then they're saying that the other side is cheating. Unbelievable. Listen, folks, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Watch it. It's free. If you like it, leave a comment. Tell your friend. If you don't like it, keep it to yourselves. And I'm on tour, so come see me live. Bye.